What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel, check out the content. And with that being said, I want to speak on this fine. This $200 fine that Caitlin Clark received for I think it was an Instagram post, or it might have been a tweet that she put out. I think more likely, I think it was an Instagram post, right? And the Instagram post said that the refs couldn't stop us, elite bench mob, right? And personally, I don't really see a harm in that. I think that, I don't think it was a situation where Caitlin Clark was criticizing the refs. I think it was more so, her showing her allegiance and her unity with her teammates, trying to, to motivate them and to pump her up and to pump everybody up, celebrating with her teammates. I thought that was, in my opinion, I think that's cool. I thought that was, good for her to support her team because she can't be out there. She want to do what she can to support her team. And I just think that with the league finding her, I don't think it's a good look. I really don't. When you I think what the Indiana Fever have right now as a team, and I think it's good to have it as a team, they have a us versus them mentality. They don't feel like they always get like the calls that they should get. A lot of times, like even when Caitlin Clark was out there, like the unfair treatment that she received, far as like people playing, you know, playing dirty and pushing her and the plays, the fouls after the plays, stuff like that. And so that's why they take on that us versus them mentality. And you can't really blame Caitlin Clark or anybody on the Indiana Fever for feeling that way. That's why I just think that this type of fine right here, it just makes the league look like they're trying to. It almost validates like the way the Indiana Fever feel, because every time everything that they do, they get penalized for it. If people play physical against them, they don't get the call. For dirty calls, they don't get the call. And then when you try to call somebody out or you bring attention to it, this is what happens, right? You get a $200 fine for for celebrating with your teammates. So I want to read though some of the comments, even the fans. A lot of the fans inside this a lot of fans are also outraged by this $200 fine that Caitlin Clark received, right? Let me see. CC has let me see. Oh, they protect the refs, but not the players. And I think that's a good statement, right? They protect the refs, but not the players. So it's okay to play physical against the Indiana Fever, and some people might even say play dirty, and that's okay. For the refs to miss those calls, and then when you bring it to people attention or you comment on it, it's not even necessary for her to bring it to people attention because everybody sees what's going on. But when you comment on it, then that's a problem. Also, let me see this other one. The league constantly brags on how physical and tough they are, but also can't handle criticism on any level. Mentally weak, which I agree, right? And so that's what they hang their head on, how physical they are, how tough they are. But when it comes to criticizing, or not even criticizing, because I don't take what Caitlin Clark said as criticism, but when you like I said, when you point out what's obvious, what's going on, they are the mentally weak ones. The league, they are really, it makes them look hypocritical. On the one hand, you talk about the toughness, and you talk about the physicality, but then the league can't handle somebody with a simple post. And she didn't specifically point out like a call that they had made or anything. So let me see. Another person posts, the refs should be fined for officiating horribly. And that's one thing, right? Like the refs always they get let off the hook. If they miss a call and somebody gets hurt, you know, it is what it is. If they miss a call and you lose a game, then it is what it is. I remember earlier this season, Angel Reese got somebody really fouled her and pulled her to the floor on a shot. A ref was standing right there, and no call was made. It upset the coach so much that the coach ran out on the court because I mean it was obvious that the young lady clotheslined Angel Reese, knocked her to the floor, and the team took the ball away. I mean, it was like a wrestling move. It was like a wrestling move right there in front of the referee. The referee didn't call it, and the coach just was outraged and ran out on the floor. I think he got a tech, may have even gotten thrown out of the game. But that's the kind of calls that they miss, right? Let me see. We can't handle the truth. They hate this team, and this team finally doesn't care, right? And that goes to my point earlier. What I said, I just think that the Indiana Fever has developed that mindset that it's us against them, and that right there, when the team takes on that it's us against them mentality, that unites the team. That makes the team even more determined. That makes the team even more dangerous. And so, if they're determined and they're dangerous like that, look out for their next opponent need to really be out on the lookout because they feel like they're not going to get any breaks. They're not going to get any calls. And what happens is they just raise their level of play. It unites them. It helps their chemistry and everything. So yeah, I think that they're going to be really something to really to deal with in this next series that's coming up with the Las Vegas Aces, right? Let me see. This league is a pitiful bunch of clowns. Caitlin should sue the W for neglect, right? And so yeah, a lot of people do agree that. I mean, and not just Caitlin Clark, but I just don't think like the way that they are officiating these games. I just don't think it makes the game like good to. It makes it look sloppy when you got people being able to foul somebody, pull somebody down to the floor, poke somebody in the eye, or or pull their hair. It just makes it look sloppy. It makes people not respect like the talent that these young ladies have, that they display. It just makes it look sloppy, like they're doing the what is that sport called? Roller derby. It makes it look like a bunch of roller derby players out there. Let me see. Let me get a couple more in here. Let me see. The league is corrupt and is bending over backwards to make sure that everyone knows it. And that's a point right there, right? Why not, like if the fans want to see like more freedom of movement on the court, if that if that style of basketball, more freedom of movement is more appealing to the fans, then why not allow these ladies to have that freedom of movement, without the hard fouls and stuff like that. I think that right there is in my opinion is more makes the sport better to watch. That freedom of movement. You can't hand check, none of the hard fouls or anything like that. So I do believe that they should have like the freedom of movement. Um, it just makes the game, that, and that's what the fans want to see. So I don't get it. They want to play a different style than other than what their fans want to see, and it's not working. It's turning off the fans, and you can see that it's turning off the fans by the fact that like viewership has gone down ever since Caitlin Clark got hurt anyway. Ticket prices have gone down. You had the Atlanta Dream just moved. They played this playoff series in a smaller arena because they didn't expect that they would have a whole lot of fans coming out to check out the game. So they're leaning in the opposite direction than what they should be. And so that's why, like this $200 fine that Caitlin Clark just received just points out the fact that, that the league is, they're hypocrites. And they don't want anybody to point out the fact that they are hypocrites. So with that being said, man, y'all make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to leave a comment, and I'll check you all out in the next post.